I had everything perfect that night. The table was set with our wedding china, candles flickering just right, and a bottle of his favorite Bordeaux breathing on the counter. The promotion dinner I'd planned for Miles was going to be special. I'd even managed to score reservations at Le Petit for dessert afterward. My name is Victoria, and that was the night my perfect life cracked wide open. I was putting the finishing touches on the coque au vin when Miles's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. He was running late at the office, as usual. The text preview lit up his screen. "Can't wait for our honeymoon getaway. Scarlett." My hand froze mid-stir. Scarlett, his new assistant. "Just checking the sauce," I said out loud to no one, trying to steady my voice even though I was alone. With trembling fingers, I picked up his phone. He'd never changed the passcode, my birthday, in 8 years of marriage. 3 swipes revealed everything. Flight confirmations to Bali, hotel reservations for 2, champagne pre-orders, and couples massages. "Victoria?" Miles's voice echoed from the foyer. I quickly locked his phone and set it down. "In the kitchen!" I called back, amazed at how normal I sounded. He appeared in the doorway, all perfect teeth and designer suit. "Something smells amazing." He crossed the room and kissed my cheek. I fought the urge to wipe it off. "How was the meeting?" I asked, stirring the sauce with newfound intensity. "Brutal, but worth it." He loosened his tie. "The leadership summit next week should seal the deal." Leadership summit. That's what he was calling their romantic getaway. "When do you leave again?" I kept my tone casual, reaching for wine glasses. "Monday morning, back Thursday night." He wrapped his arms around my waist from behind. "I'll miss you." I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled. "Let me plate this up. Why don't you go freshen up?" The moment he disappeared upstairs, I grabbed my own phone and opened Instagram. Scarlett's profile was private, but her profile picture told enough. She was young, gorgeous, and apparently fond of bikini shots. I created a fake account faster than I'd ever done anything in my life. Within minutes, I was scrolling through her feed, each photo feeling like a punch to the gut. There they were, at the beach house we'd talked about buying, in restaurants I'd never been to. Her perfectly manicured hand wearing a diamond tennis bracelet. Charged to our joint card last month, I realized with growing nausea. "Need any help?" Miles called from upstairs. "No!" I shouted back, quickly closing Instagram. "Just plating." I heard the shower start running and opened our shared credit card app. The evidence was all there. Jewelry stores, weekend getaways, fancy restaurants. All while I'd been working late, proud of how hard we both pushed for our careers. The coque au vin was burning. I turned off the stove mechanically, watching the sauce bubble and pop. 8 years of marriage, 3 years of dating before that. All going up in smoke because of one carelessly displayed text message. Miles came downstairs in fresh clothes, hair still damp. "Smells like something's burning?" I looked at him. Really looked at him. The slight tan from weekends I thought he'd spent golfing. The new watch I hadn't bought him. The confident smile of a man who thought he was getting away with murder. "Just lost track of time," I said, reaching for the wine bottle. "But I think we can salvage it." He sat down at our perfectly set table, completely oblivious to the storm brewing inside me. As I poured his wine, my hand steady as steel, I made a decision. He wanted to play games? Fine. But I was about to change the rules. "To your promotion." I raised my glass, clinking it against his. "And to next week's leadership summit." Miles's smile flickered for just a second, so brief I might have missed it if I hadn't been looking for it. But I saw it. And in that moment, I knew exactly what I had to do. "Girl, you're scary calm right now," Zella said, stirring her coffee. We were huddled in the corner of a cafe 3 blocks from the office. I'd be throwing his designer suits out the window. "That's too obvious," I replied, scrolling through Scarlett's Instagram on my burner account. "Besides, I need to understand what I'm dealing with first." "What's there to understand? He's cheating with his assistant. Tale as old as time." I shook my head. Something's off about her hiring. She's been here 6 months, but her LinkedIn shows zero relevant experience, just part-time bartending and an unfinished business degree. So she slept her way into the job, Zella shrugged. That's what I thought too. But look at this. I pulled up the company directory on my phone. She's making more than me, a first-year assistant. Zella nearly choked on her coffee. That's impossible. Unless someone higher up arranged it. I lowered my voice. Someone like Jocelyn Ross. My phone buzzed. Miles. Hey, beautiful. Just landed at the conference. Missing you already. I typed back. Miss you too. How's the weather? Cloudy but warm. Heading into meetings. Talk later. Zella peered at my screen. Cloudy? It's crystal clear in Bali right now. I checked. Of course you did. I smiled. Help me set up another fake account? I want to follow Scarlett from different angles. 20 minutes later, we had created Wanderlust Weekends, a travel enthusiast account that looked legitimate enough to accept. Within hours, Scarlett had approved the follow request. Bingo, Zella whispered as we scrolled through fresh posts. Look at that. A boomerang video showed 2 champagne glasses clinking. Crystal blue ocean visible through floor-to-ceiling windows. Caption: Finally alone. That's the exact villa from their reservation, I said quietly. He didn't even try to book a different one. Back at the office, I kept my game face on. Scarlett's desk was empty, her family emergency leave perfectly timed with Miles's leadership summit. I walked past Nicholas from legal, who barely met my eyes. Interesting. Victoria, a voice called. It was Serena from HR hurrying to catch up with me. Do you have a minute? She ushered me into a small conference room, checking twice that the door was closed. This isn't exactly protocol, but... She glanced around nervously. You should know you're not the only one being lied to. What do you mean? Scarlett's hiring paperwork. It's irregular. Nicholas pushed it through personally, overriding standard procedures. When I flagged it, Jocelyn told me to drop it. My heart raced. Why are you telling me this? Serena's eyes darted to the door again. Because something bigger is happening. And because... She hesitated. Because my ex-husband did the same thing to me 3 years ago. With his assistant. Back at my desk, I opened my work email. Another message from Miles. Intense strategy sessions all day. Miss you more. I clicked over to Scarlett's latest Instagram story. She was lounging by an infinity pool, Miles's watch visible on the table beside her. The same watch I'd noticed at dinner. My phone lit up with a text from Zella. Holy shit. Check the marketing group chat. I opened it just in time to see a photo disappear, but not before I screenshot it. Scarlett in lingerie, clearly in that same villa. Caption: Ready for you. Sent to the entire marketing team by accident. Messages flooded in. Did anyone else see that? Was that Scarlett? Message deleted by admin. I stared at my screenshot. A plan forming. Miles and Scarlett thought they were so clever, but they'd gotten sloppy. Comfortable. The watch and photos, the group chat mistake, the irregular hiring. They were leaving breadcrumbs everywhere. My phone buzzed again. An email from an anonymous account. R.E. Scarlett Gonzalez hiring irregularities. I have more information. Meet me in the parking garage after work. I looked through the glass walls of my office at Nicholas, hunched over his desk, making yet another urgent phone call. At Serena, who gave me a subtle nod as she passed by. The perfect revenge wouldn't be loud or messy. It would be methodical, professional, and absolutely devastating. I typed back, I'll be there. The parking garage was eerily quiet at 7 p.m. My heels echoed against concrete as I approached level B2, where a figure stood in shadow. Over here, Serena called softly. She looked nervous, clutching a manila envelope. I had to wait until everyone left. What's this about? She handed me the envelope. Financial records. Scarlett's not just getting overpaid, she's expensing everything. Jewelry, hotels, even lingerie, all coded as client entertainment. I flipped through the documents. How is this possible? Nicholas signs off on all of it. But here's the weird part. The approvals go straight to Jocelyn's desk. No standard review process. My phone buzzed. Miles. In another late session, getting room service. I checked Instagram. Scarlett had posted a story of lobster thermidor and champagne on a beachfront terrace. Room service indeed. There's more, Serena said. Scarlett's salary? It's higher than yours. I know, I saw the numbers. No, you saw the official numbers. Look at page 4. I flipped to it. There was a second payment stream labeled as consulting fees. Jesus, I whispered. She's making double what I make. Triple, with expenses. Serena glanced around nervously. Victoria, be careful. This goes higher than Miles. Back home, I spread everything across my dining room table, the same table where I'd served that burning coq au vin. Financial records, screenshots, timestamps. A pattern emerged. Every time Scarlett got a bonus, Nicholas approved a suspicious contract. My phone lit up. Zella. You watching their stories? They're not even trying to hide anymore. I opened Instagram. Scarlett had posted a boomerang of waves crashing at sunset. Caption: Paradise found. In the reflection of her sunglasses, I could see Miles taking the photo. The doorbell rang. I froze. Victoria? It's Lana. Miles's sister. Perfect. I opened the door to find her looking uncharacteristically serious. We need to talk. Come in. I led her to the evidence-covered table. Her eyes widened. So you know. About the affair? Yes. No, she said quietly. About everything else. She pulled out her phone, showing me texts from 5 years ago, before Miles and I were married. Messages between him and another woman, another assistant. It happened before, Lana said. At his old company. There was a harassment complaint, but it got buried. Dad paid it off. My hands shook as I processed this. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm tired of the lies. And because... She hesitated. Because Scarlett came to me last week. She's pregnant. The room spun. I gripped the table edge. She wanted money to keep quiet, Lana continued. Said she'd go to the press about the company's finances if we didn't pay. My phone buzzed again. Miles. Missing you. Can't wait to share my presentation results. I stared at his message, then at the evidence spread before me. The affair was just the tip of the iceberg. This was about power, money, and corruption, and I had proof of all of it. What are you going to do? Lana asked. I opened my laptop and started typing. I'm going to write an email. To Miles? No. I smiled grimly. To everyone. My phone lit up with a notification. Scarlett had posted again, a close-up of 2 hands intertwined on white sheets. Miles's wedding ring clearly visible. That's sloppy, Lana said, looking over my shoulder. No, I replied, taking a screenshot. That's evidence. I worked through the night compiling everything chronologically. Financial records, photos, timestamps. Lana filled in historical details, dates, names. By dawn, I had a comprehensive document that would destroy not just a marriage, but possibly an entire company. My finger hovered over the send button. Wait, Lana said. Are you sure about this? I thought about Miles and Scarlett, probably waking up in their luxury villa. About Nicholas and his suspicious approvals. About Jocelyn and her carefully constructed house of cards. Yes, I said. Scheduling the email for 9 a.m. tomorrow, right after Miles's flight took off. I'm very sure. Are you sure you want to drive me to the airport? Miles asked, loading his carry-on into the trunk. I can just call an Uber. Don't be silly, I smiled, adjusting my rearview mirror. What kind of wife would I be? The drive was torture. Miles chatted about his upcoming presentations while I gripped the steering wheel, knowing that in less than 2 hours, my email would detonate his carefully constructed lie. "You're quiet this morning," he noted. "Just tired. Been working late on the new campaign." He squeezed my knee. "You work too hard." I wanted to laugh at the irony. Instead, I said, "Speaking of work, how's Scarlett doing with her family emergency?" His hand twitched slightly on my knee. "Oh, better, I think. Haven't really heard from her." I checked the time. 8:15 a.m. The email was scheduled for 9 a.m. sharp, addressed to the entire board, senior management, and HR. Subject: regarding fraudulent use of company resources, Franklin Gonzalez. At the departure's drop-off, Miles leaned in to kiss me goodbye. "I'll call you when I land." "Good luck with your presentation," I said sweetly. "I'm sure everyone will be very interested in what you have to show them." He gave me an odd look but hurried off with his luggage. I waited in the cell phone lot, watching flight trackers until his plane took off at 8:55 a.m. Back at the office, I settled into my desk with a cup of coffee, watching the clock tick toward 9 a.m. Zella texted, "Ready? Born ready." 8:59 a.m. I could see Nicholas pacing in his office, phone to his ear. 9 a.m. The email sent with a soft whoosh. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, phones started buzzing, heads popped up from cubicles. I heard a crash from Nicholas's office. He'd dropped his coffee mug. "Oh my God," someone whispered loudly. "Is this real?" I kept working on my presentation, perfectly calm as chaos erupted around me. Through the glass walls, I watched people huddling over phones, covering their mouths in shock. 9:15 a.m. Jocelyn's assistant sprinted past my office. 9:20 a.m. Nicholas slammed his office door shut, blinds drawn. 9:30 a.m. Security arrived to escort Scarlett's temporary replacement from the building. 10:45 a.m. My phone buzzed with missed calls from Miles. His plane must have landed. At 11:00 a.m. sharp, a new email arrived. From Jocelyn Ross. Subject: regarding fraudulent use of company resources. We need to meet. Confidentially. My office, now. I grabbed my tablet and headed to the executive floor. Zella texted, "She's going to try to bury this." "Let her try," I wrote back. Jocelyn's assistant waved me straight in. The CEO stood at her window, back turned to me. On her desk was a manila envelope. "Sit," she commanded without turning around. I sat. "Interesting email," she said finally, turning to face me. "Very comprehensive." "Thank you." She picked up the envelope. "But you missed something." She pulled out a photo and slid it across the desk. My breath caught. It showed Miles and Scarlett in bed, clearly taken without their knowledge. "Where did you get this?" "I have eyes everywhere, Victoria. Did you really think you were the first to know?" "You knew?" "Of course I knew." She sat down, studying me. "The question is, what do you want?" "Want? Everyone wants something. Money, promotion, revenge." She leaned forward. "Name it." My phone buzzed again. Miles calling. "I want the truth," I said. Jocelyn laughed, a sharp, humorless sound. "No, you don't. Trust me. Try me." She stared at me for a long moment, then pressed her intercom. "Cancel my next meeting and get me Nicholas. Now." My phone lit up with a text from Serena. "Scarlett just showed up. She's hysterical. Something about a pregnancy test. Security's involved." I showed Jocelyn the message. Her face went pale. "Well," she said quietly, "this complicates things." "No," I replied, standing up. "This simplifies everything." I walked to her door, then turned back. "By the way, I have copies of everything, including that photo you just showed me. So whatever you're planning, don't." As I left her office, my phone buzzed one final time. A text from Miles. "What have you done?" I smiled and typed back, "Ask Scarlett. I hear she has news for you." The security footage played on repeat in the conference room. Scarlett, mascara running, throwing a positive pregnancy test at the lobby security desk. "Get Miles Franklin on the phone right now," she screamed. I know he's not at any leadership summit. Jocelyn paused the video. This is a PR nightmare. Funny, I said. I thought workplace harassment and financial fraud were the real nightmares here. Nicholas cleared his throat. We should discuss severance packages. Severance? I laughed. That's your solution? My phone buzzed. Miles again. Please tell me you didn't send that email. We can talk about this. Zella appeared in the doorway. Victoria, you need to see this. She held up her phone. Miles was trending on Twitter. Someone had leaked the security footage. Jesus Christ, Nicholas muttered, pulling out his phone. Don't bother calling your lawyer, I said. I already sent him copies of everything. Jocelyn's eyes narrowed. You did what? Including the photos you've been using to blackmail them. I turned to Nicholas. And the fake expense reports you've been approving. The color drained from his face. My phone rang. Miles's mother, Cora. You vindictive little witch, she spat when I answered. How dare you destroy my son's career, his reputation? Interesting, I replied calmly. You're not denying any of it. He made one mistake. Two, I corrected. Remember the last assistant? The one you paid off? She hung up. Serena burst into the conference room. Scarlett's giving an interview to TMZ in the parking lot. Oh, for fuck's sake! Jocelyn grabbed her phone. Get security down there. Too late, Zella said, showing us the live stream. Scarlett was sobbing into a microphone, waving what looked like ultrasound photos. Nicholas stood up. I need to make some calls. Sit down, Jocelyn snapped. Nobody leaves until we contain this. Contain what? I asked. The affair, the embezzlement, or the fact that you've known about both for months? The room went silent. My phone lit up with a text from Lana. Mom's having a meltdown. Dad just admitted he knew about everything, including what happened at Miles's last job. I'm coming over. Victoria, Jocelyn said quietly. Let's discuss this privately. No, I stood up. Let's discuss it right here. Tell them about the photos you've been collecting. Tell them about the offshore accounts. Nicholas went pale. What offshore accounts? The ones you've been using to hide Scarlett's real salary. I turned to him. Did you really think I wouldn't find those? Serena's phone chimed. Miles just posted on LinkedIn. We all looked at our phones. There it was, a lengthy post about taking accountability and personal failures, classic damage control. Coward, I muttered. Security called up. Scarlett was demanding to see Jocelyn. TMZ was still filming. I'll handle this. Jocelyn stood up. Like you handled the last scandal? I asked. The one with the previous assistant? She froze. How much do you know? Everything. I pulled out my tablet. Including these emails between you and Miles from 5 years ago. The ones about covering up the harassment complaint. Nicholas swore under his breath. My phone buzzed again. Miles, please, I'm begging you. I'll give you anything. I looked around the room. At Jocelyn's carefully maintained facade cracking. At Nicholas sweating through his expensive suit. At Serena documenting everything. You know what's interesting? I said, standing up. Everyone keeps asking what I want. Money, power, revenge. But none of you have asked what I'm going to do with all this evidence. What are you going to do? Jocelyn asked quietly. I walked to the door. I'm going to tell the truth, all of it. And I'm going to start right now. You'll never work in this industry again, Nicholas threatened. I turned back one last time. Maybe not, but neither will you. As I walked out, my phone lit up with a final text from Miles. I'm sorry. I love you. I typed back, no, you're sorry you got caught, and you only love yourself. Then I walked straight to the parking lot, where the TMZ cameras were still rolling, ready to tell my side of the story. And you have proof of all this? The TMZ reporter leaned forward, microphone extended. Every email, every photo, every transaction. I replied calmly. Behind me, Scarlett had gone quiet, mascara streaking down her face. Including this, Lana appeared, holding up her phone. My brother's previous NDAs, all 3 of them. Scarlett's head snapped up. 3? Oh, honey, Lana said. Did you think you were special? Security guards approached, but stopped when they saw the cameras rolling. Smart move. My phone buzzed with an urgent text from Zella. Emergency shareholders meeting called for 3 p.m. They're trying to get ahead of this. If you'll excuse me, I smiled at the reporter. I have a meeting to attend. The elevator ride to the executive floor was tense. Scarlett followed me in at the last second. I didn't know, she said quietly. About the others. Would it have mattered? She touched her stomach unconsciously. Maybe. The boardroom was chaos. Shareholders on video calls, lawyers huddled in corners, Jocelyn at the head of the table looking like she'd aged 10 years. Ah, perfect timing, Nicholas said sarcastically. Our whistleblower arrives. Play it, Jocelyn commanded. The lights dimmed. On the screen, security footage showed Miles in Jocelyn's office months ago, on his knees, begging. Please, Video Miles pleaded. I'll do anything. Don't terminate me. This was 3 months ago, Jocelyn explained, when I first caught them. Scarlett gasped. You said she didn't know. He lies, Scarlett, I said. That's what he does. The video continued, showing Miles offering to handle certain problematic accounts in exchange for silence. Turn it off, one of the shareholders demanded. We've seen enough. My phone lit up with a news alert. Breaking luxury brand CEO implicated in multiple cover-ups. It gets better, I announced, pulling out my tablet. An anonymous source just sent me this. I connected to the screen. Email chains appeared, dozens of them. Between Miles and Nicholas discussing offshore accounts. Between Nicholas and Jocelyn, arranging hush money. Between Jocelyn and various board members, orchestrating cover-ups. Where did you get those? Nicholas stood up, face red. Let's just say karma has a way of catching up. The boardroom doors burst open. Miles stormed in, still carrying his carry-on. You, he pointed at me. How could you do this to me? To you? Scarlett stood up. What about what you did to us? Us? He laughed bitterly. There is no us. There never was. The room went silent. Scarlett's face crumpled. Actually, Lana stepped forward, there is an us now. She handed Miles the ultrasound photo. Congratulations, brother. You're going to be a father. Miles staggered back, falling into a chair. My phone buzzed again. Another news alert. Stock plummets amid executive scandal. The board has heard enough, the lead shareholder announced from the video screen. We're calling for immediate resignations, all of you. You can't do this, Jocelyn started. Actually, we can, and we are. Security appeared at the door. Ms. Ross, your company car is being collected. I stood up. Well, this has been fun, but I have a divorce lawyer to meet. Victoria, wait. Miles grabbed my arm. We can fix this. I pulled away. No, Miles, you can't fix this. You can't fix anything, because you're not sorry you did it. You're just sorry you got caught. What do you want from me? He shouted. Nothing, I replied. I have everything I need, the truth. As I walked out, Scarlett's voice rang clear. I want child support, by the way. My lawyer will be in touch. In the lobby, Zella waited with my coat. Ready to go? Almost. I turned to the gathering crowd of employees. For those wondering, yes, I have proof of wrongful terminations and discrimination. Yes, I've sent it to the labor board. And yes, there will be a class action lawsuit. Contact Serena in HR for details. My phone lit up one last time, a text from an unknown number. Well played, but this isn't over. Jay. I smiled, stepping into the sunshine. No, I said to myself, it's just beginning. Behind me, the building erupted in chaos as security began clearing out executive offices. Sometimes karma needs a little help, and I was happy to assist. The media circus lasted weeks. Every morning brought new headlines. Luxury brand CEO steps down amid scandal. Executive love triangle leads to corporate meltdown. Class action lawsuit filed against industry giant. I sat in my lawyer's office watching Miles squirm as we discussed divorce terms. "You can't take half," he protested. The prenup, the prenup, my lawyer interrupted, becomes void in cases of infidelity, which we have thoroughly documented. Miles slumped in his chair. Behind him, his mother Cora glared daggers at me. "There's also the matter of the offshore accounts," my lawyer continued. "The FBI is very interested in those." "You told the FBI?" Cora gasped. "No," I smiled. "Nicholas did. Amazing what people will reveal when they're offered immunity." My phone buzzed. "Zella. Turn on CNN now." I pulled up the live stream. Jocelyn was giving a press conference announcing her resignation for health reasons. "Health reasons?" Miles scoffed. "She looks fine to me." "Oh, wait for it," I said. Right on cue, a reporter stood up. "Ms. Ross, can you comment on the allegations that you orchestrated multiple cover-ups of sexual harassment?" Jocelyn's perfectly composed face cracked. "No comment." Another reporter. "What about the offshore accounts linked to board members?" Cora grabbed her purse. "This meeting is over." "Actually," my lawyer said, "we're just getting to the good part. The SEC has some questions about certain stock trades made right before the scandal broke." Miles went pale. "What stock trades?" I pulled out my phone, showing him the records. "The ones you made the morning I drove you to the airport, right before my email went out." "That's insider trading," my lawyer helpfully pointed out. The door burst open. Scarlett walked in, clearly showing now at 4 months pregnant. "Sorry I'm late," she said, sitting down. "Morning sickness." Miles put his head in his hands. "Perfect timing," my lawyer smiled. "We were just discussing assets." My phone lit up again. A text from Serena. "Class action lawsuit just got approved. 76 plaintiffs and counting." "You've ruined everything." Cora spat at me. "No," Scarlett replied. "Your son did that all by himself." The TV was still playing. Now Nicholas was being led out of the building in handcuffs, jacket over his head. "I have a proposition," I said to Miles. "Sign everything over now. No contests, no fights. And I won't mention the other offshore accounts." "What other accounts?" his lawyer demanded. "The ones in the Caymans," I replied, "under his mother's maiden name." Cora's face went white. Miles grabbed the divorce papers and started signing. "One more thing," I added. "That beach house you took Scarlett to? The one we talked about buying? I want it." "Fine," he muttered. "Take it all." Scarlett stood up, hand on her belly. "Don't worry, Miles. The baby and I will be fine without you. My book deal will cover everything." "Book deal?" Miles looked up in horror. "Oh yes," she smiled. "The other woman tells all. Publishers are very interested." I gathered my things, ready to leave this chapter of my life behind. But Miles grabbed my arm. "Why?" he asked. "Why go this far?" I pulled free. "Because you didn't just cheat on me. You made me doubt myself, made me feel crazy for suspecting, made me think I wasn't enough." "I never—" "Save it," I cut him off. "I don't need your explanations. I have your receipts." My phone buzzed one last time. A news alert. FBI launches full investigation into luxury brands' financial dealings. "Better lawyer up," I told Miles. "The worst is yet to come." Outside, Zella waited in her car. "Ready for our meeting?" "What meeting?" She grinned. "The one with the venture capitalists. They're very interested in funding our new consulting firm. Let me guess, corporate transparency and ethics? Poetic, right?" As we drove away, I watched Miles and Cora arguing in the parking lot. Scarlett was giving another interview to waiting reporters. "You know what the best revenge is?" I asked Zella. "What's that?" "Success." I pulled out my tablet, opening our business plan. Now let's go build something honest for a change. Behind us, the media frenzy continued, but I didn't look back. Some people collect receipts, others collect karma. I'd managed to do both. The beach house windows reflected the sunset perfectly. I stood on the deck, watching waves crash against pristine sand, when my phone buzzed. "Have you seen the news?" Zella asked. "Miles just got sentenced." "How long?" 5 years for financial fraud. Nicholas got 7. I smiled, sipping my wine. Our consulting firm had just landed its 10th major client, companies desperate to avoid the same scandal that had destroyed my former employer. The doorbell rang. Lana stood there, holding a squirming baby girl. "Someone wanted to see her Aunt Victoria," she said, handing me my niece. "How's Scarlett doing?" "Better. The book's hitting bestseller lists next week." Lana joined me on the deck. "Mom's still not speaking to me." "Her loss?" I bounced the baby gently. "How's the foundation going?" Lana had used her share of the settlement to start a nonprofit supporting workplace harassment victims. Karma at its finest. My phone lit up with a text from Serena. "Just got offered CEO position at the restructured company. Taking it. Want to help me clean house?" Speaking of karma, I showed Lana the text. "Look who's running things now." The baby cooed, reaching for my necklace, the one I'd bought myself with Miles's hidden Cayman funds. "Did you see Jocelyn's interview?" Lana asked. "The one where she blamed everything on toxic masculine culture while conveniently forgetting her role? Classic." A notification popped up. Scarlett posting on Instagram. She'd become something of a whistleblower icon, speaking at corporate ethics conferences. "Hard to believe this all started with one careless text message," Lana mused. "Sometimes the smallest cracks reveal the biggest problems." The doorbell rang again. This time it was a courier with a thick envelope. Inside was a single postcard, a sunset view, not unlike the one we were watching. On the back, in familiar handwriting, "Not done yet." "Miles?" Lana asked, reading over my shoulder. "Trying to sound threatening from federal prison?" I laughed. Cute. I pulled out my phone, typing a response to Serena. "Count me in. Let's build something worth protecting this time." The baby started fussing. Through the glass doors, I could see Zella setting up dinner inside. Our weekly strategy session for the consulting firm had become a family affair. "You know what's funny?" Lana said, taking her daughter back. "Miles always said you were too trusting, too naive. But you saw everything before anyone else did." "I saw what I needed to see, when I needed to see it." My phone buzzed again. A news alert. Corporate Whistleblower Protection Act passes Senate. "Perfect timing," I smiled. "Our firm just launched a whistleblower protection program." "Using your settlement money to prevent what happened to you?" Lana grinned. "More karma." Inside, Zella was arranging papers on the dining table, the same table where I'd first discovered Miles's betrayal. Now it held contracts for our expanding business, Serena's reform proposals, and Scarlett's foundation partnership agreements. "Ready to change the world?" Zella called out. "Already did," I replied. "Now we're just making sure it stays changed." I took one last look at Miles's postcard before dropping it in the recycling. He thought he was sending a threat. Instead, he'd sent a reminder, not of what I'd lost, but of everything I'd gained. The baby reached for me again, and I took her, breathing in that perfect newborn scent. She would grow up in a world where women didn't stay quiet, where truth had power, where karma wasn't just a concept but a promise. "Time for dinner," Zella announced. "We have contracts to review." I joined my real family at the table, my sister-in-law who chose truth over loyalty, my best friend who helped me fight back, my niece who would never have to doubt her worth. My phone lit up one final time. A message from an anonymous number. "Thank you for showing us how to fight back. The next whistleblower." I smiled, raising my glass. "To karma." "To karma," they echoed. Outside, the sunset painted the ocean gold, and I was exactly where I needed to be, not just surviving, but thriving. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just exposing the truth, it's building something better from the ashes of what burned.